We know this. Benedict XVI, previously Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, was chosen in 2005 as a doctrinal moderate, however, staggered the world by leaving in 2013, the first to do as such in quite a while. The first pope to step down in quite a while passes on in retirement. Benedict's memorial service will happen in St. Peter's Square. Game plans start for Benedict's burial service. Benedict was censured for his treatment of the congregation's sex misuse outrage. In his profound will, Benedict expresses his last viewpoints on trust. Conclusion of a significant period. Grievers accumulate at St. Peter's Square. Biden and Pelosi give proper respect to Pope Benedict XVI. At 86, Francis has his own medical conditions, bringing up issues about whether he, as well, could resign. Pope Benedict XVI, the prominent German scholar and moderate master of Roman Catholic principle who broke with very nearly 600 years of custom by leaving and afterward living for almost 10 years behind Vatican walls as a resigned pope, kicked the bucket on Saturday. At age 95, the Vatican said, "A pope's demise usually gets rolling a meeting to pick another head of the congregation." Yet, Benedict's replacement, Pope Francis, was named when Benedict ventured down. In 2013, in a customary New Year's Eve administration held at the Vatican, Francis commended Benedict, saying, and quote, "With feeling, we recall his individual, so respectable, so kind. Also, we feel in our souls such a lot of appreciation." End quote. Presently, a sitting pope is supposed to direct the burial service of his ancestor, a phenomenal exhibition throughout the entire existence of the congregation. The Vatican said on Saturday that Benedict's burial service would be hung on Thursday in St. Peter's Square, with Francis managing. As is customary, Benedict's body will be laid in St. Peter's Basilica on Monday so the steadfast can document by to offer their appreciation. Very much like his ancestor, John Paul II, Benedict abandoned an otherworldly confirmation saying, "Sorry, and quote, to and quote, anybody I have violated in any capacity," end quote, he said. Thanks to his dad, for his end quote, clear confidence end quote, that trained his kids to accept his sibling, likewise a minister, for his judgment and direction, and his sister, who dealt with him for quite a long time. Also, he approached the devotion and quote, remain consistent in the confidence, end quote. He was a pope who generally drew enthusiastic supporters, as well areas of strength for as. Indeed, even before his political race as pope on April 19, 2005, church traditionalists considered him to be their scholarly and otherworldly North Star, a pioneer who, as a strong Vatican official, maintained church convention notwithstanding developing secularism and strain to change to get more individuals into the seats. Benedict's fault-finders are bound to recall him as a smasher of difference who did excessively little to address sexual maltreatment in the congregation, staggered in a portion of his public statements and missing the mark on most of his ancestor, John Paul II. Francis terminated or downgraded a considerable lot of Benedict's nominees, diverted the congregation's needs and changed its accentuation from defining and keeping limits to peaceful inclusivity. In any case, in certain respects, Francis has based on Benedict's heritage, particularly in tending to the youngster's sexual maltreatment emergency. Benedict was the main pope to meet with casualties, and he was sorry for the maltreatment that was permitted to rot under John Paul II. He abraded the foulness in the congregation and expelled a few culpable ministers. In any case, misuse survivors and their promoters blamed Benedict for not going far inadequately in rebuffing a few ministers as a cleric in Germany, and in his treatment of allegations against certain clerics at top of the Vatican's doctrinal office. He was likewise scrutinized as doing barely anything to consider the order responsible for protecting, thus working with, youngster sexual maltreatment. Benedict conceived Joseph Alois Ratzinger, was appointed a minister in 1951 and was named ecclesiastical overseer of Munich and Freising in 1977. That very year that he turned into a cardinal. After 4 years, Pope John Paul II gathered Cardinal Ratzinger to Rome, where he turned into the top of the assemblage for the teaching of the Confidence, the workplace liable for protecting church conventionality, one of the Vatican's most significant positions. He drove in the workplace for almost 25 years. After John Paul II kicked the bucket in 2005, Cardinal Ratzinger was picked as his replacement. He took the name of a 6th-century priest, Benedict of Nutricia, who had established religious communities in the Benedictine request, helping spread Christianity in Europe. The new Pope, Benedict XVI, would look to re-proselytize a Europe that was attempting to keep up with its confidence. Eventually, Pope Benedict bowed out during a time of embarrassment and colossal tensions. He referred to his declining well-being, both in quote, of psyche and body, and quote, he had said that he had surrendered uninhibitedly, and in quote, to ultimately benefit the congregation, and quote, that renunciation, the principle by a pontiff beginning around 1415, is probably going to be recognized as his most characterizing act. He lived in retirement in a religious community on the Vatican grounds, generally moving away from public life and devoting himself to supplication and reflection. Francis visited him and referred to him as in quote, a savvy granddad in the home, and quote, even as his allies looked for, and fizzled, to make him an elective power place. Benedict's memorial service will occur in St. Peter's Square, Rome, when Sovereign Elizabeth II of England kicked the bucket. In September, a fastidiously arranged process known as Activity London Scaffold was gotten rolling. For the hours and days to follow, ecclesiastical passings likewise follow a severe convention. The Pope's review and room are cut off, the Pope's angler's ring, the seal utilized for ecclesiastical records, is obliterated, and different memorial service ceremonies are sanctioned. Yet, with the passing of Benedict, who left the papacy in 2013 and took the title of Pope Emeritus, it was muddled until his demise was declared on Saturday what convention the Vatican would utilize. The Vatican said that his burial service would be hung on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. in St. Peter's Square, directed by Pope Francis. Benedict will be covered close by his 148 ancestors, who lie in the Vatican grottos underneath St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican said. Matteo Bruni, a Vatican representative, said that the custom on Thursday would be a quote, serious however sober burial service. Quote, 2 authority designations will be available, as per the Vatican, those of Germany and Italy. Paving the way to that service, his remaining parts will remain until early Monday at Mater Ecclesiae Cloister, which had been his home on the grounds of Vatican City. No authority visits or public petitions to heaven or made arrangements for that site. Be that as it may, on Monday, his remaining parts will be let go in St. Peter's Basilica, where they can be quote, welcomed by the dependable, quote, the Vatican said. Since there are no points of reference in present-day times, said Agostino Paravicini Baglioni, a history specialist of the papacy, the inquiry regarding how to deal with the burial service of a resigned pope was quote, confounded, quote, Benedict was not the main pope to resign, he noted, yet he decided to hold a few features attached to the papacy, remembering dressing for white. Paradoxically, Celestine V, who surrendered in 1294, tried to live like a priest. He was rather detained by Pope Boniface VIII, and was not given the memorial service of a pope when he kicked the bucket in 1296. Gregory XII, the last pope to leave before Benedict, returned to being a cardinal when he ventured down in 1415. At the point when he kicked the bucket 2 years after the fact, his burial service followed the ritual utilized for cardinals. Mr. Paravicini Bagliani said, regularly, cardinals accumulate for ecclesiastical memorial services to grieve, yet additionally to take part in the appointment of a replacement. Their presence in Rome is an indication that even though a pope has passed on, the congregation proceeds. Mr. Paravicini Bagliani made sense of this. That is not an issue for this situation, he said, yet added that cardinals would probably be available as grievers. A pope's burial service mass is normally celebrated by a senior member of the School of Cardinals. Thusly, Benedict commended the burial service of John Paul II in 2005.